Is this thing on? It is. All right. Welcome back to the Shoot to Rock Sports Talk podcast. I'm your host, Shoot to Rock, and we are back once again with our NFL weekend recap here for Week 8. A bit slower week around the NFL with a lot of teams on bye. Maybe not the greatest games, but we ended up having a pretty banger stream and a couple bangers. So we're going to get into it, giving my awards for every game from this Sunday. Make sure to drop your awards down in the comments, and while you're down there, make sure to follow the show or subscribe, ring the notification bell so you never miss a video, and let's get into it. All right, so this NFL Week 8 slate, in all honesty, it was not great. There was some snoozers. There was a lot of not close games, a lot of blowouts. So we're going to do something different this week, and I might just do this going forward. Let me know how you like it, and feel free to suggest awards down below. But we are going to be going through each game is going to have an award, and we're going to start with the best game of the week. And for me, that had to be the New York Jets getting their first win, a 39-38 win over the Cincinnati Bengals. They now will not go 0-17. They won't be the first team in history. They're the last winless team. It won't be the Jets this year, as they win 39-38 behind 23 points in the fourth quarter, including Breece Hall throwing the game-winning touchdown pass to Mason Taylor. And yeah, that's right. You read that. Breece Hall, not Justin Fields. Granted, Justin Fields did have a good game today. 244 yards, did throw a touchdown pass, 21-32. The Jets finally looked, somewhat confident today offensively, especially here in the fourth quarter, coming back. Breece Hall, as well as throwing that touchdown pass, he rushed for 133 yards and 2 TDs. He put the team on his back today. He was a dog. It was all Breece Hall. The Jets couldn't have done it without him, and he leads them to their first win. Looking at some other notable performers, like I mentioned, Tyler Johnson caught that touchdown pass, Mason Taylor caught the touchdown pass with 34 yards. Tyler Johnson also caught a touchdown pass, leading receiver with 64 yards on the Jets side. And the Bengals, this is one, they were looking to get back in the division mix, not one they could drop. Joe Flacco throws for 233 and 2 touchdowns, so not a horrible game from him, but, didn't dice up the Jets like he diced up the Steelers last week. Or, well, they did score, up in the 30s again, but just not as many points as last week. So other notable Cincinnati performers, Samaje Perine rushed for 94 yards and a touchdown, as well as Chase Brown 73 yards and a touchdown. Joe Flacco did rush for a touchdown as well. So a lot of touchdowns on the ground, but in the end, it just wasn't enough. Jamar Chase did have 91 yards receiving. T. Higgins 44 yards and caught a touchdown. Chase Brown also caught a touchdown to go 32 yards. So good game overall for him. But the Bengals, it's one, just at home, don't want to drop, especially to a team like the Jets giving them their first win. But congrats to the Jets. They win the best game of the week. Then moving on, the upset of the week. The Miami Dolphins go into Atlanta, take down the Falcons 34-10. Not one I saw coming at all. That's why it wins the upset of the week. I mean, Kirk Cousins did have to start in place of Michael Penix. Only threw for 173 yards, but really it was Tua. 205 yards, 4 touchdowns, really just like slinging it all over the yard. It was the best he has looked in a very long time. Like I said, this is one of those games. It was over. Zach Wilson came in through a pass because it was over. Or that I could have that incorrect. Only threw one pass. But like I said, very, very much the best Tua has looked in a while. Devon Achane also rushed for 67 yards. No touchdowns for him. It was really the receivers getting it done. Jalen Waddle, 99 yards and a touchdown. Malik Washington, 36 yards, touchdown. Devon Achane caught a touchdown to go with 24 yards receiving. And Ollie Gordon even caught a touchdown. The backup running back, or, the RB2 get in the mix. So really just overall, the Miami offense was clicking in a way that I have not seen them clicking in a very long time. And it was very impressive. Like I said, I didn't really even key in too much on this game just because of how dominant the Dolphins really were. Like I said, on the Atlanta side, not great. Kirk Cousins, those 173 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Bijan couldn't get going, only had 9 carries for 25 yards. Receiving-wise, led by Kyle Pitts, 59 yards, and that was it. Just really, in all assets of this game, Miami just dominated. It was really never close. I mean, if you're looking at it, total yards, 338 from the Dolphins to 213 from the Falcons. Like, just something that you really can't have happen. I mean, really, I'm not even seeing anything crazy. I mean, Atlanta only turned the ball over once. It was really just they couldn't stop Miami offensively. So, good win for the Dolphins. And that win, it's going to give them the upset of the week. Then we move on to the third game, the whomping of the week. And that goes to the Buffalo Bills. A 40-9 win in Carolina, bouncing back, looking really dominant. Buffalo has struggled last couple of weeks. But to get back here in the win. 2 weeks ago against Atlanta, did not look good. But after a bye week, they bounced back, look a lot better. Josh Allen throws for 163 yards and a touchdown. But really what it was on the ground. James Cook, 216 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also, did he catch any? No, he actually did not catch any balls. But yeah, he was just running all over Carolina. Had a long run of 64 yards. They just really did not have an answer for him all day. Receiving-wise, Khalil Shakir, 88 yards and a touchdown. Really, he was the only receiving touchdown for Buffalo. Kind of crazy that with all that scoring, it was actually just a lot of field goals, if I'm doing my math correctly here. Matt Prater 2 for 2. What else am I missing? Was there a defensive touchdown? There must have been somewhere. 2 for 2 on field goals. I'm only seeing 4 touchdowns. That only gets you to like 36 points. What else am I missing? I don't know. I can't really tell. Someone's gonna have to update. Oh, they must have gone for 2 after a couple of these. That's what it's looking like. Touchdown. Josh Allen rushed for a touchdown. That's what I'm missing. So 1 in the air for Josh Allen, but also 1 rushing. So, maybe not the greatest stat line for him, but I believe also too that that rushing touchdown moved him into either the most or second most games all time by a quarterback with a rushing and a passing touchdown. I know for sure he passed Cam Newton, and then I forget if that put him in the lead or in second. It probably says here quick in the recap. Breaking, so it was the NFL record. Cam Newton had that record, so to do it against the Panthers is kind of fitting there from Josh Allen. We look on the Carolina side, not a great game from Andy Dalton. Yeah, no Bryce Young in this one, but threw for 175 yards, no touchdowns. 1 interceptions. Really the noticeable thing, Rico Dowdle has been having some good games for Carolina the past couple of weeks. That's why, they've been winning these games. Definitely was a down week for him, only rushing for 54 yards. It was Chuba Hubbard who had the rushing touchdown for Carolina. Their only touchdown in this game, as well as 39 yards. On the receiving side, Tedero McMillan definitely was Dalton's go-to target. He had 99 yards, including long of 19. He's really impressed me lately. He's definitely been, kind of coming into his own, playing very well. But yeah, other than that, just Jalen Coker with 36, Jatavion Sanders with 19, and Xavier Legette with 17. So really not a whole lot going on there for Carolina. That's why, it gets the whomping of the week. Buffalo back in the win column, looking really good. Now improving to 5-2, keeping pace with New England, who does have that head-to-head win over them. So, it's one of those things where if this is Buffalo's year, you can't be losing games like this to Carolina. They took care of business today. They get whomping of the week. Next, we have the best individual performance of the week, and that's going to go to Jonathan Taylor and the Indianapolis Colts. They win 38-14 over the Tennessee Titans. Like I said, this late window, pretty boring. The most entertaining thing to watch was Jonathan Taylor. Like I said, I debated between going James Cook, but I ended up going Jonathan Taylor. He rushed for 153 yards and 2 touchdowns, as well as having 21 yards and receiving touchdowns. So a hat trick of touchdowns on the day. That's going to give you the best individual performance of the week. And really just this Colts team, it's Daniel Jones has been cooking. Granted, his offensive line has been playing great, giving him a ton of time. He throws for 272 and 3 touchdowns again. Like he's just looking like a completely different guy. Like I said, I think a lot of it is the O-line. I think he is starting to they are starting to get that recognition too, as well as Daniel Jones is. So it's been really, really fun to watch this team. So, yeah, like I said, Jonathan Taylor, player of the week, rushing-wise. Other notables, Michael Pittman had 95 yards and a touchdown. Pierce was 69 yards receiving. Tyler Warren, 53. Josh Downs caught the other touchdown from Daniel Jones that Taylor didn't catch, as well as to go with 39 yards receiving. So, Indianapolis Colts, 7-1. It was debated on my stream here tonight. Are they the best team in the NFL or maybe it was the AFC? I think they're up there. I think there's an argument. I think you got to have them as top 5. I mean, 7-1, now 5-0 at home. Just look completely dominant. Granted, it's against the Titans team that now falls to 1-7. They've already fired their coach. Cam Ward, he was slinging it a little bit today, threw for 259 and a touchdown, but with an interception as well. Other notable performance for Tennessee, Tyjae Spears rushed for 59 yards and a touchdown. And then on the receiving side, it was Gunnar Helm, only 23 yards, but he did catch the other touchdown. Leading receiver, Chimere Dike with 93 yards, and then Chig Okunongwo with 53, as well as Elik Iomanor with 52. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We need some more receivers. I don't know these names. Maybe I'm a casual. Maybe I should know these names. Like I said, I'm not really locked in on the Titans because they're really bad, 1-7 now. But yeah, Colts, big win. Could have given them whomping. They didn't. We really could trade those last two. The Bills and the Colts, both dominant performances. Both their running backs had very big games. So Jonathan Taylor wins the Shoot to Rock Individual Player of the Week award. Next, moving on, they might be back game of the week. The Baltimore Ravens take down the Chicago Bears 30-16, and no Lamar Jackson in this one. Granted, it seemed like all week he was going to play from the reporting I was getting. Maybe I was just reading bad reports, or honestly, I just feel like the injury reporting has not been as good this year, and I got to think, rather than there being competition, now all these people, kind of work for the same umbrella with ESPN and NFL Network. I feel like that's probably not great for reporting and for the product. And I feel like we're seeing a little bit of that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, like I said, maybe I'm just, like I said, maybe I'm a casual. Maybe I don't know ball. I feel like I know ball, but maybe, like I said, I've just been getting bad information. Like I said, I really thought Lamar was going to play in this one. He doesn't. It really did not matter for this Ravens team. Tyler Huntley throws for 186 and a touchdown, but it was really Derrick Henry carrying the way, 71 yards, 2 TDs. Forget, there was some record he broke as well. Let me try to pull that up here on the recap real quick. Sorry, I was adjusting my camera. That actually made it worse. Let's see here. Derrick Henry went for 2 touchdowns, breaking a tie with Walter Payton for 5th on the career list. So he passed Walter Payton. Sorry, that was crazy. Walter Payton. What are we doing here? Walter Payton. And once again, fittingly against the Bears, passing a guy, former player on the team that he's going against. So big day for him. And like I said, when you have a guy like Derrick Henry, you can kind of carry the way. That makes it easier for a guy like Tyler Huntley. Definitely was the right move going with him this week instead of Cooper Rush. Looking on the receiving side, Zay Flowers led the way with 63 yards, my apologies. Rashad Bateman had 51, Mark Andrews 34. But it was Charlie Kolar who caught the one receiving touchdown. It was only reception of the day, 10-yard touchdown pass reception. So Ravens offense looked really good. They might be back. They're now 2-5. Finally get that back in the win column. And every other team in their division lost today. Like I said, we already mentioned here the Bengals. We'll kind of touch on these other two later. On the Bears side, they were not back. It looked like the Bears might be back, might be, challenging for the North, or at least a wild card spot. They still could be challenging for a wild card spot, but NFC, very tough. This is a bad loss, and Caleb Williams did not look great in this one. Did throw for 285, but no touchdowns and an interception. Bears offense just really did not look good. DeAndre Swift led the way with 45 yards and 1 touchdown, but only averaging 4 yards a rush. Really not get much going, especially because, Caleb Williams is tied for the second leading rusher after that with 24 yards. Him and Kyle Monangai both 24 yards. Receiving-wise, Rome did have 114. But, in the second half, it was all Ravens. Chicago was kind of airing out a little bit. DJ Moore, 73 yards. Colson Loveland, 38. So, yeah, really just not much impressive from the Bears offense today. Really disappointing game, I would say, if you're a Bears fan. This is one I wish I got to talk about it live on the stream because we had some Bears fans in here. I think they would have had some good takes to drop. But, yeah, Ravens looking like they're back. Bears probably not back, but Ravens, they get the who's back win of the week. Then the final award, like I said, was a bit smaller week this week, so rather than doing 8 games, we're just going to do 6. The We're Not Having Fun Anymore award goes to the New York Giants. And while, this is kind of a jokey around, being silly, but, also dropping some takes, talking some ball, I do want to say prayers up to Cam Scatabo. That was one of the more gruesome injuries I've seen in a while. And that was, what was making this team fun, watching Jackson Dart and Cam Scatabo. And now without Cam Scatabo, we'll see how that goes. Tyrone Tracy, 39 yards rushing. He's had some solid games, so he's really going to have to step up. But, yeah, the Giants now fall to 2-6. But the one thing that why they're really not having fun, the tush push. We talked about on the show. Granted, the Giants are now done with the Eagles. They beat the Eagles once this year, so that's a W for them. How the tush push was officiated today absolutely drove me nuts. And trust me, I'm not like team ban the tush push. Like if you have a play that works, why would you not run it? And just to like ban it, like that's in my opinion, that's kind of soft. But the problem with it is it's officiated completely differently than any other play. So today, the Giants force a fumble on the tush push. Like, let's be honest, they forced a fumble. But for some reason, the refs are officiating it like crossing the first down is like crossing the goal line, where Jalen Hurts extended, got the first down, and then they said his forward progress was stopped and blew the play dead when it should not have been blown dead, as Kayvon Thibodeau was stripping the ball and recovered it. Like they blew the play dead as Jalen Hurts was losing the ball too. So like the whistle should not have been blown at all when it was. It gets blown, just absolutely ridiculous, and it ends up not costing the Giants, but it's just very frustrating. And I don't know how you can say, oh, his forward progress is stopped. That's the whole point of the play, is that they just kind of keep pushing. Like that's how the play works. You really can't say, oh, his forward progress is stopped, so the play is dead. Like when Jalen Hurts is still on top of people, because again, that goes against what the play is. Like they're trying to push him for the first down, and if they don't get it, they keep pushing. So I don't know how you can just say he was stopped, how like that play was dead. It's just ridiculous. I mean, you throw on top of that, like really the offensive linemen like move multiple times, like any other play, any normal play, how the linemen move in the tush push. It's called a false starter. Like they got their head over the ball, like they're in the neutral. Like the linemen, how they line up and start the play is not legal, but for some reason in the tush push, it's allowed. So you can tell Brian Dable was not having fun when that was called. And then, shortly thereafter, loses his go-to running back on a hip drop tackle, which was supposed to be a point of emphasis, and like there was no call there either. So really just tough day for the Giants. Now getting more into the game, Jalen Hurts throws for 179 yards, 4 touchdowns. Like they had no answer for him. Plus Saquon rushed for 150 and a touchdown. We got Tank Bigsby getting on the action rush for over 100 yards. It was just crazy. Everyone was eating today. Devonta Smith was the leading receiver with 84 yards with no touchdowns. Jahan Dotson had 40 yards and a touchdown. Dallas Goedert, National Tight Ends Day, probably the tight end celebrating the most today. 2 touchdown receptions for him, as well as Saquon. That's only 2 touchdowns. He had a receiving touchdown as well. On the Giants side, like I said, Jackson Dart throws for 193 yards, 1 touchdown. And then Cam Scatterbo would be the leading rusher normally, but like I said, leaves the game with that injury. So it goes Tyrone Tracy, 39 yards rushing. I mean, that's also just like one of those injuries. I really don't know how you like continue to play after seeing one of your teammates go down like that. On the receiving side, Wan'Dale Robinson, 48 yards is the leading receiver. So like there's a lot of different guys here. I mean, Singletary, Slay, Bellinger, all like in the 20s, Theo Johnson, but nothing really like notable here. It was just the ball was spread around pretty evenly. But the Giants, like I said, a lot of what was making fun was the Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo connection. So now that that's gone, probably won't be as fun, sadly. Then we got to touch on this one. I don't have an award. This is just the Sunday night recap. Because like I said, usually I would do this on stream, but how tonight's stream was, I'm going to touch on it at the end, was so good. I didn't even get a chance to do my recap here like I wanted to. But the Packers knock off the Steelers 35-20 in a game that was just a completely different tale of two halves. As you can see there, 13-0 Steelers outscore the Packers second quarter. They're up 16-7 at the half. Brandon McManus missed a field goal at the end. The Steelers are looking really good. I was riding high. The chat was riding high live on Twitch, those of us watching the game. And then it just completely fell apart. The Steelers only scored 9 points the second half. They couldn't stop a runny nose from the Packers. They scored 28 points the second half, including 21 in the fourth quarter. Jordan Love throws for 360 and 3 touchdowns. The apprentice outduels the mentor. 306 yards, 3 touchdowns for Jordan Love, as Aaron Rodgers only throws for 219 and 2 touchdowns. Granted, he was running for his life all night. The Packers defense was just doing a great job of getting to Rodgers. On the Green Bay side, Emmanuel Wilson was the leading rusher with 61 yards, but Josh Jacobs did have 33 yards and a touchdown. Receiving-wise, Tucker Kraft. Never mind, I take it back. Tucker Kraft was the tight end that was eating the most today on National Tight Ends Day. 143 yards, 2 touchdowns for him. Steelers just didn't have an answer. He had some like insane catches, like that long 59 one where he just kind of like caught a ball that should have been picked off and then just no one could take him down. He was nuts today. On the receiving, Christian Watson with 85 yards. Romeo Doubs had a good game with 44 yards. So just so many different guys for the Packers that Pittsburgh just could not stop. On the Pittsburgh side, Jaylen Warren, I think had a good game. Didn't get in the end zone, but 62 yards. Like I liked how he was running. He was doing some tough running. Receiving-wise, Roman Wilson was the leader, 74 yards and a touchdown. And then DK with 55 and a touchdown as well. Calvin Austin had 28. But really just like the thing that was most disappointing today, like the Steelers just were very undisciplined. One of those guys being DK Metcalf, it was like flashes of George Pickens. I know DK's done this before. He likes just like getting guys' face, like grabbing face masks, like just took a really bad unnecessary roughness or like unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that like knocked the Steelers out. Like it was a third and 2, then become 3rd and 17. They end up punting. I mean, plus then you got, Kenneth Gainwell here like losing a fumble. Like the Steelers offensively in the second half just were not very sound, just did not have much going. It was very frustrating to watch. I mean, one of the more excruciating watches. Like I said, the stream on Twitch was a lot of fun. I'll get to it at the end here. But yeah, tough loss for the Steelers. Just really did not look good. They now fall to 4-3, like I talked about earlier with the Ravens. This division might not be over. Like how the Steelers have looked the past 2 weeks, especially with how the defense has played. The AFC North, as much as I hate to admit it, I really think is wide open. So Green Bay, on the other hand, 5-1-1. They cement themselves for now as the best team in the NFC, I would say. Their only loss, that game to Cleveland, is kind of fluky. I mean, that's just kind of crazy to think about, that the Packers, if it wasn't for a loss to Cleveland, would be undefeated. So good effort there from Green Bay, especially go on the road. Like I said, this was a game I kind of thought the Steelers normally win, but Green Bay goes on the road and takes it. So then, just going through the rest of the scores here from this week in the NFL. Patriots keep rolling. They take down the Browns 32-13. Drake May dealing once again, throws for 282 yards and 3 touchdowns. So really impressive performance from him. Let's see what else. Oh, the Texans. The Texans take down the 49ers 26-15. I guess the Texans were favored in this game, but it was one of those, like, it seemed like an odd line, but I guess it ends up making sense. The Texans just like dominated time of possession in this game. Let me pull it up. It was like something crazy where the 49ers only had the ball for like 6 minutes in the first half. I want to like read this off because that's how crazy it was. Yeah, Titans had the ball for 41 minutes. It's just very hard to win a game when you only have the ball for 18 minutes. Your opponent has it for that long. So good win for them. CJ Stroud thrown for 318 and 2 touchdowns. And the other one we did not touch on from Sunday. Right, let's see. We did 6 games. We talked about all these. 1, 2, 3, 4 all got talked about. Oh, never mind. The Saints and the Bucks. This one I didn't really watch much of. The Bucks just kind of rolled 23-3 over the Saints. Gosh, I can't speak. Baker Mayfield 152. Sean Tucker, the leading rusher, 142 yards and a touchdown. This one was maybe one of the like craziest interceptions I've ever seen. Who was it? Nelson, yeah. Anthony Nelson, I want to say his name is. Bats the ball to himself, really didn't even jump, intercepts it, trucks Spencer Rattler, and just walks in the end zone for a touchdown. Probably one of the coolest plays I've ever seen. Plus, he had 2 sacks on the day to go with it. So, really good game from him. The Bucks were just like by far the better team in this game. Saints are really bad. And then the last one, Broncos roll 44-24 over the Cowboys. Bo Nix throws for 247 and 4 touchdowns. I mean, he could be up there for the play of the week as well. And then J.K. Dobbins rushes for 111 in this one. Very impressive game for him. And then back to Thursday night. Sorry, I guess I missed this one. Chargers, 37-10 win over the Vikings. Really just looked very dominant in this one. Justin Herbert threw for 227 and 3 touchdowns. Kamani Vidal, really good game for him, rushing for 127 and a touchdown as well as he had just had 1 touchdown. So very, very impressive win for the Chargers. They now move to 5-3. The Vikings now 3-4. They're really going to have to get in gear if they want to keep pace with the Packers and Lions in their division. So that's going to wrap it up, our NFL Week 8 recap here. Thank you guys so much for watching, whether that's on YouTube, Spotify, Twitch. Make sure to drop your takes, your awards, maybe a game I should have talked about more, teams you want me to discuss more next week on the pod, down below in the comments. Like I said, one more time, I just want to thank everyone who watched on Twitch tonight. We had like 7 followers, maxed out at like 30 viewers. It was by far the most active and fun stream I've done in a long time. So make sure to check us out there. Like I said, usually I would do this video like live on Twitch, but like so much was going on, I just did not have the chance to at halftime. So make sure to check us out over there. Like I said, all my socials are linked in the description. We do the show live over there first. So that's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.